Hello, and again, welcome to the Rant Reloaded. I'm doing a rebroadcast because unfortunately, sometime during my stream, the Facebook or YouTube dropped the stream in midstream, so I'm redoing it. Let me move the camera back into position here. So anyway, we're redoing it. I thought we had the bugs worked out. Apparently, though the bug was not on my end this time, we are subject to the internet and the way it operates. So nothing can be done about that. Anyway, good afternoon. Again, welcome to the Rant Reloaded. We have more news on the upcoming trial of former President Trump this week. Apparently, Congressman Jim Jordan had issued a congressional subpoena on former Manhattan District Attorney Mr. Pomerantz, which, of course, the current Manhattan District Attorney, Bragg, tried to quash. And the reason he tried to quash it is he stated, and I quote, that congressional oversight of this trial would impede on the state's ability to pursue and prosecute crimes. It's a bunch of hogwash, but that was his reason. However, it seems Bragg has dropped his suit to quash the subpoena after a court, according to Epoch Times, determined that Mr. Pomerantz's disposition or deposition would serve a valid legislative interest, and Pomerantz, due to his own conduct, is not protected by confidentiality privileges. Now, I do understand the reasoning behind the congressional subpoena by the House Judiciary Committee is to investigate whether or not the current Manhattan case is indeed what I believe it is, which is nothing more than an attempt to weaponize the judicial branch against their, being Democrats, political adversaries. In her order, Vice Kosil, I don't know how to pronounce it, but she's a Supreme Court Justice on the New York Supreme Court, agreed with the congressional lawmakers, reasoning that testimony by Pomerantz can help inform current and pending legislation. Excuse me. This includes a bill that, if enacted into law, would bar the use of federal funds to investigate a sitting or former president. The Accountability for Lawless Violence in Our Neighborhoods, or ALVIN Act, and another that would allow Congress to remove an action or prosecution against a former president. House Resolution 2553. Now, I said last week this entire thing reeks of an attempt at a political hit job, i.e. a way to keep Donald Trump from running in 2024. Let's be honest, I believe that Democrats are afraid of another Donald Trump presidency. Now, some might say that sounds like conspiracy theory. Well, let's look at historical facts, shall we? As theory is only theory till it does become a fact. Historical fact 1. Trump beat Hillary in 2016, and the entirety of the Democratic Party believed Hillary to be the party's golden goose. No way she can lose, they said. But even with the manufacturing of the now proven false Steele dossier, Hillary did indeed lose that election. Fact number 2. We'll impeach the president, said the Democrats. That will get him out of our hair. Yet after multiple failed attempts to impeach Donald Trump, not only did they not get rid of him, but they actually strengthened his base. Gained him more support. So, again, it backfired. Now, on to historical fact number 3. Enter Joe Biden, who somehow beats Trump in 2020. But let's be honest. Since Biden has taken the presidency, it has been one abysmal punchline after the other. The man's a doddering old fool who makes the White House and our country look like a constant joke, who has steadily lost favor with even his own party, with scandal after scandal, ranging from a quid pro quo to protect his son Hunter Biden, to the possession of classified documents dating back to when he was a senator. Notably, these are documents which he never had authorization to take because he was not president at the time. And continue on that to the multiple revealed cover-ups of his son's crimes and even Joe's possible involvement in some of those crimes. And yes, there is now even serious talk in Washington of impeaching Joe Biden. Not that I see any real reason except to hold him accountable, which he should be. But let's face it, while there is a chance he gets reelected in 2024, it's a very slim chance. And I personally find it highly unlikely. And the Democratic Party knows it as well. So knowing Trump has thrown his hat into the ring for presidency, again, they have to stop him by hook or by crook. I could go on and on with multiple examples of the Democratic Party's multiple abuses of governmental overreach of power to violate the constitutional rights, or at least attempt to violate those rights of normal everyday citizens. But that would probably take an entire season of shows, so I'm not going to do it. I might slip it in here and there during the show, but I'm not going to go into the entire list. Starting to sound a little less than simple conspiracy theory, isn't it? This brings me back to what I was saying last week about weaponizing the DOJ and justice system against political rivals. But where exactly does it stop? Today, it's a former and possible future president on trial. But is that where it stops? What if next time it's someone like you or like me? Someone who's not a political figure, but maybe you made a statement about how much of a joke a sitting president is, or maybe about how you feel the government is wasting tax dollars, or any statement that can be considered as criticism against the government. You could very well find yourself, and I could very well find myself, labeled a political dissident as a result of those statements, even if they were made 10, 20, 30 years ago. And from the looks of it, most likely if the statement referenced a time where Democrats were in control of everything. Now, again, this seems like conspiracy, but it happens throughout the world. Take communist China. And I'm going to go a little bit off topic here dealing with China, but they do exactly this thing. You speak out against the government, you find yourself disappeared. Okay, as a matter of fact, and it's completely unrelated story, but just recently a secret police station for communist China was found in New York City. Secret police. So, and the purpose, when these people were arrested, the purpose they stated was to round up people who have escaped from China because after speaking out against the Chinese government, so they could intimidate them and harass them until they forced them to go back to China, where China could arrest them and as dissidents. Now, we've already seen the Democrats attempt to silence those who disagree by working with big tech to censor social media. We've seen them attempt to weaponize the FBI against parents that speak out at school board meetings by placing them on domestic terrorist watch lists. We've also heard talk from members of the Democratic Party during the 2020 elections discussing the re-education camps for Trump supporters, or anyone they determine to be what they call alt-right. So again, I ask you, where does it end? I'd honestly like to hear what you think about all of this. Today's statements, today's comments. Please leave a comment. I don't, and just so you know, I don't censor any comments unless they are extremely vulgar and or disrespectful or used to intimidate. So, positive or negative, all comments will be seen by everyone who wants to read them. Also, please hit that like, follow, or subscribe button, whichever platform you're on, so you keep getting our broadcasts on your timeline, and it also helps to show your support for the show. Unfortunately, that's my time for today, or at least that's all the material I had prepared for today. So, Until next Sunday, I will bid you a fond farewell and wish you a very blessed week. This is Mario Colangelo with the Rant Reloaded saying if today's political climate isn't pissing you off, then you're not paying attention. I'm also going to add a little something to that this time, and that's if the potential fallout from today's political climate doesn't scare you, then again, you're not paying attention because, my friends, at this point, we should be very, very afraid. And I'm not talking afraid to where we go into hiding, but it's time that we start taking action within the limits of the law to fight back and protect our Constitution, protect our people, protect our way of life. Anyway, again, this is Mario